Welcome to Relationship Exposed. In today's video, we unravel a deeply personal story, one of love, betrayal, and the most unexpected twist of fate. A marriage built on trust, destroyed by secrets. A man betrayed by the woman he loved most, only to find something startling in the arms of someone even closer to her. Buckle up, because this story doesn't just blur lines, it obliterates them. I never imagined that the foundation of my marriage, something I had once believed to be solid and sacred, would collapse so suddenly and in such a devastating way. For years, I clung to the belief that what we had was rare, unbreakable even. I thought we could weather any storm, face any challenge life threw our way. I had entrusted her, my wife, the woman I had vowed to love and honor, with everything. My heart, my future, even the darkest corners of my soul. She was more than my partner. She was the keeper of my secrets, the mirror to my better self. Or so I thought. Then, one quiet evening, she shattered every illusion I had built around us. No fight, no warning. Just a confession that changed everything. We were sitting in our living room, the TV humming in the background, the air thick with an uneasy stillness. She turned to me with an unreadable expression on her face, looked me in the eyes, and spoke with a calm that chilled me to my core. "I've been cheating on you," she said, like she was announcing what we'd have for dinner. I froze. At first, I thought I had misheard her. My brain scrambled to process it. I searched her face for any sign of remorse, a flicker of regret, anything that would suggest this was a moment of weakness she deeply regretted. But there was none. No tears, no apologies, just an unsettling calm. And then she said something even worse, something that has echoed in my mind ever since. "You should be more open-minded. Let me do what I want." That wasn't just a betrayal of our marriage. It was a betrayal of basic human decency. How could she expect me to accept her infidelity like it was just a phase, a lifestyle choice I was supposed to support? My heart broke not just from what she had done, but from how little it seemed to matter to her. For days, those words haunted me. I replayed them over and over in my head, trying to understand how someone I loved so deeply could be so detached, so indifferent to the pain they had caused. She didn't just cheat, she wanted me to accept it, normalize it, endure it. Like it was my duty to support her betrayal in the name of progressive thinking. I felt humiliated, worthless, broken into 1,000 pieces. But then something unexpected happened. In the midst of that heartbreak, that emotional wreckage, a strange clarity began to form. Maybe it was anger. Maybe it was pride. Maybe it was a survival instinct kicking in. Whatever it was, it whispered something in my ear that I hadn't dared think before. If she wants freedom, give her all the freedom in the world, but I won't be her doormat while she explores it. Maybe it was time to stop being the overly understanding, ever-forgiving man she thought she could walk all over. And that's when a name surfaced in my mind. Clara. My wife's sister. Now let me be clear. Clara and I were never close, mostly because my wife and Clara could barely stand each other. Their relationship was a slow-burn disaster. Years of bitterness, cold shoulders, unspoken resentment, and unresolved rivalry. They had drifted apart to the point where even basic family gatherings were strained and uncomfortable. I often felt like a referee stuck between two feuding teams that barely acknowledged each other. But Clara had always intrigued me. There was something about her, the way she spoke without filters, her brutal honesty, the way she never tried to impress anyone. She was genuine, unapologetically real. Where my wife had become distant, calculated, and emotionally manipulative, Clara had a kind of warmth that made you feel seen. Our paths rarely crossed beyond the occasional family event. But I'd be lying if I said I hadn't noticed the way she looked at me sometimes. Nothing inappropriate, just lingering glances that suggested something. And now, in the midst of my emotional freefall, I couldn't get her out of my mind. Ironically, a family trip had been planned months in advance. Just the three of us. Me, my wife, and Clara. Some kind of reunion meant to patch things up between the sisters. At first, I wanted to cancel. The idea of being trapped with my cold, distant wife and her emotionally volatile sister was not appealing. But something stopped me. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe I needed a change of environment. Maybe a part of me just wanted to watch the world burn. From the moment we arrived, the tension between the sisters was unbearable. Every conversation was layered with sarcasm. Every glance carried a decade of unresolved issues. I was an outsider in their quiet war, a ghost hovering between their... We'd spent the day exploring a nearby town, snapping photos, pretending to be happy. My wife, exhausted from her performance, went to bed early. Clara and I stayed back in the living room, wine in hand, the lights dim, soft music playing in the background. At first, we talked like friends. Old memories, family scandals, awkward holiday dinners. Then the conversation turned deeper. I found myself opening up about everything. The betrayal, the numbness, the feeling of being discarded like an old toy. Clara listened without interruption. No judgment, no pity, just presence. Somewhere between the second and third glass of wine, something shifted. Our laughter faded. The pauses grew longer. And in one of those silences, our eyes met and held. That moment felt like standing at the edge of a cliff, unsure if you should jump or turn back. My heart pounded. My mind screamed. But my soul, that broken, bleeding thing, whispered something else entirely. So I leaned in, and she didn't pull away. That kiss ignited something buried deep inside me. Not lust, not revenge, but a flicker of self-worth, a reminder that I still mattered, that I was still desirable, still alive. What followed that night was a whirlwind of emotion, guilt, relief, fear, and something dangerously close to hope. Clara wasn't just a rebound. She was real. And in her arms, I felt like I belonged again. Of course, secrets like that don't stay hidden for long. Word got out quicker than we anticipated. My wife, the woman who had so casually dismissed her own betrayal, completely lost it when she found out. The hypocrisy would have been laughable if it weren't so tragic. She screamed, cried, accused me of ruining the family, of destroying trust. And all I could think was, you broke us first. You lit the match. I just walked away from the fire. But this was about more than just betrayal. This was war. Because I hadn't just moved on. I had moved on with her sister. And suddenly, Clara, the sister she had spent years belittling and pushing away, held the upper hand. It was a dynamic shift my wife wasn't ready for. Her fury wasn't just about me. It was about control, ego, power. Clara and I didn't flaunt our relationship. We kept it quiet. At first. We knew what people would say. But behind closed doors, we grew closer. Secret phone calls, quiet dinners, long drives under moonlit skies. With every passing day, the chaos around us grew. But so did our bond. Back home, everything deteriorated. My wife stopped speaking to Clara completely. Their parents got involved. Lines were drawn. Accusations flew like daggers. The family began to splinter. But amidst that wreckage, I found something I never expected. Peace. I wasn't proud of how things unfolded. I don't wear my decisions like a badge of honor. But I also don't regret them. Because after everything, after the betrayal, the humiliation, the cold indifference, I had a right to choose myself. Was it right? Maybe not. Was it clean? Definitely not. But it was real. And sometimes the most honest choices are the messiest ones. Clara didn't fix me. She didn't rescue me. But she reminded me that I was still worthy of being loved, of being seen. And in a world where the woman I trusted most had tried to make me feel small and disposable, that reminder was everything. I don't pretend to have all the answers. I know people will judge. I know some will say I stooped low, that I retaliated in the worst way possible. But I also know that healing isn't always graceful. Sometimes it's loud, chaotic, unexpected. And sometimes the path to finding yourself again runs straight through the ashes of what once was. So, no, I don't apologize. She cheated and told me to accept it. I found love and chose not to hide it. And in doing so, I reclaimed a part of myself I thought was lost forever. This is my story. This is my truth. And maybe, just maybe, it's yours too. This is Relationship Exposed, where real stories come to light. If you've ever felt broken, betrayed, or forced to swallow your pain in silence, let this story remind you. You have the right to feel. You have the right to leave. And you absolutely have the right to start over, even if it means rewriting the ending everyone else expected.